Cheap Charlie's gone again. Where is Cheap Charlie? Can you guys believe this? Well, I've got some ideas on what happened, and there's even been reports that apparently Chuck Wow is not uploading videos either. So something is happening through YouTube, and the earthquakes and the tremors are going off. Now, what you guys probably don't know is YouTube is really getting strict with their terms of violations and terms of service, and they're coming down hard on it. There was even a situation with Chuck Wow to where, you know, quite some time ago, somebody got quite angry with him. It's posted all over forums everywhere you look. People just don't like cameras stuck in their faces. Go figure. And vlogging is taking a whole new step toward things. Even your very popular vloggers like Balder and some of these other guys, I believe they started in Pattaya there, and they seen the writing on the wall. They seen the terms of service was coming down pretty hard, and they took their channels and redirected them into tourist channels where they started traveling around the world. Now, there's some things to consider here, and we do have some things we can iron out. Some common sense here is what we can do. When you go to Cheap Charlie's channel, it just says it's not there. It's gone. So what happened? Well, first we got to ask ourselves some questions. He had approximately, I don't know, 6,000 or 7,000 subs on that new channel. And if you've got the views, and he had quite a good amount of views there going on. So he was probably generating with that type amount of subs, probably around $100, and I'm going on the high side per month is what he would have been making on that. And that's just not enough to stay there. It's not enough to even, you know, eat. So I have to give him credit. He was pretty smart. He started doing live feeds, and some of his live feeds, I seen all his fans tipping him, you know, sometimes 800, sometimes 300 per day. He was making a nice little income there. And I mean, even if you figure out 300 times 30, I mean, it's a nice little chunk of change, you know. He was pulling in some money there. Hopefully he banked it, because things happen. Now, as human beings, we all get motivated by money, jobs, love. I mean, everybody has different forms of motivation. And if you're going to run a live feed 10 hours a day, I mean, heck, Cheap Charlie was running them longer than that. I mean, you must really like doing live feeds, or you must really like the tips that your fans are giving you. So, think about that for a moment. You're running these live feeds, you're doing good, you're making 300, you're making $1,000 a day, you're extremely excited. And you're really not doing much. I mean, you're just kind of walking around showing an area, saying, yeah, this is this building, this is where I do this. I mean, you're really not doing a whole lot. You're not even doing a whole lot of editing, really. And all of a sudden, the one day you go to click there because you're a fan, or you're a hater, one or the other, and you go, he's gone. What do you do? Well, we have to understand something. There are a number of things that could have happened, okay? Number one, the user could have shut down their channel. He may have just shut it down for the time being. Number two, they could have been suspended for copyright infringement or other violations. That could be it. Number three, YouTube cannot only suspend an account, they can also terminate it for copyright reasons. These are the three things that could have happened. One of these three things, and that's it. So this has to be thought about. So think about it for a minute. Let's say, normally what YouTube does is they'll send you an email about a particular video, and they'll give you a warning. And hopefully you learn from that warning and you move on with your channel. If you don't learn from that warning, then what happens, it moves into what's referred to as a strike one on your channel. And I printed off some information. I'll have the links in the bottom. If you guys want to go read this, there's even a video there you can watch on understanding on what YouTube's terms of policy is. And I can't believe I'm doing this. I mean, people need to read the rules of whatever they're doing. You can't just do whatever you want. It's not the cowboy video world. There is a set of rules, and we make these rules to make our lives better. But a first strike, if YouTube has found it doesn't follow their policies, then what it means is you can't upload videos, you can't do live streams or stories, create custom thumbnails or community posts, and this lasts for 1 week if you get one strike. So you basically get 1 week slap in the hand, You've been a bad boy. You can't do nothing for a week. Basically, go take a vacation and enjoy yourself and come back a week later. But the channel's still available for all the other videos to view. But his ain't. Do you think Charlie would have shut his channel off for one strike? I don't think so. I really don't. A second strike. What if you get a second one within the 90-day period? Everything runs 90 days with these strikes. If you get a second strike within the same 90-day period as your first strike, you will not be able to post content for 2 weeks now. If there are no further issues, full privileges will be restored automatically after a 2-week period. But each strike expires after 90 days from the time it was issued. So, if you had a strike and that one goes 90 days, but 30 days have passed, you get a second strike, you got these strikes lingering basically behind you. But what happens if you get a third strike? And like in baseball, 3 strikes, you're out. 3 strikes in the same 90-day period will result in your channel being permanently removed from YouTube. Gone. You're out of here. Also note each strike expires in 90 days from the time it was issued, and that deleting the content will not remove the strike. Once a strike has been issued, you don't get rid of it. Now you can fight it, and you got to send the appropriate emails. And then they'll come back and look over the situation and find out if the strike is good or not. Sometimes that can take a couple of weeks. Sometimes that can take a month. So, probably to answer your question about Chuck Wow, he's probably gotten himself a couple of strikes. And he's not touching his channel because he's like, I don't want to take a chance on that third strike or the entire channel's wiped out. So you're probably not going to hear anything from him for 90 days would be my guess until those couple of strikes are gone. And that's normally what most YouTubers do. As soon as a YouTuber gets 2 strikes, that's it. He's hands off. He won't touch nothing after that. He'll just leave that channel sit there for 3 months or until the 90 days from the time they got the strike is actually off the channel so that way they can start again. There's another thing called, I'm not sure, maybe you guys aren't aware of this, and a lot of trolls do this and hateful people do this. I call it the 1, 2, 3 whammy, but what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll try to get 3 strikes on that channel in 5 minutes. Boom, 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 is what they'll do. And they'll come in and they'll find what is actually against the policy, the terms of service, and each one of them will report. And a lot of times I've seen channels go down in 5, 10 minutes to where they had 3 strikes in 10 minutes. Bang, bang, bang. There's no debating. There's no, hey, what happened? What went on? You don't even have a clue. Channel's deleted. Content's gone. Bang. The only time I've seen people ever get those channels back is if they actually went and paid a lawyer, and actually went through that process because they can't get a hold of anybody at YouTube. And I've only seen, I think, 2 people do that, and they have gotten their channels back. But, it's going to cost you a little bit of money to do it. So, what is actually happening? Who knows? I mean, I know basically what you know. These are the rules. I mean, all I can do is guess on what's going on, just like a lot of you guys are. And a lot of videos are popping out from trolls. I've seen that. But either Charlie shut his channel off, or maybe Charlie got 2 strikes and said, wow, I'm shutting this off now. And he's just going to leave it sit there for 3 months before he brings it back. But one thing's for sure is vloggers really get hit hard with haters. I mean, that's all there is to it. I've seen many people run vlogs. I mean, I think one of the most popular guys is Ice Poseidon. And I watched some of his, and that guy was just amazing how he created, and it was a very toxic family that he created within his live streams. He was pretty amazing. But he made a lot of money too, and I mean a lot of money. And you have to be on your toes when you run a live stream. It's not like you can sit down and say, oh, that's against the TOS, I need to edit that out. You're doing everything in live time, so your risks of losing your channel are high. And Charlie was running streams for 12, 14, 15 hours. Longer. You could just point the camera the wrong way and say the wrong thing, or I mean, heck, if girls would have been flashing him, I mean, that would have been enough to get a strike and take out a channel. It is very dangerous to run live streams. And if you're not controlling the environment. Now, I've seen people run live streams from inside a studio and stuff like that, and that's a controlled environment. So now they know what's going to be on the video, just like me right now. I can edit things out. I can add things. I'm running this from my studio. And now if I was doing a live feed, then I would do it from a studio. But as soon as you decide to do a live feed down a street, well, you can't predict what these people are going to do. And if those people are extremely upset with cameras in their faces and everything, I'm sure they're thinking about how can we put an end to this. And maybe that's why they're all running music in the background. Maybe that's why they're all dressing a certain way. Maybe they're all doing this. And when it comes to YouTube's terms of service, anybody can request that their face be removed from a video. And a lot of people don't know that either. It really pays to read that. So if you're walking down the street and there's 40, 50 people's faces in your video, and let's say I see my face in one of Charlie's videos, I can actually put forth a thing to YouTube saying I want my face removed. I don't want to be in that video. And YouTube will immediately shut that video off, and they will inform that person that this face needs to be removed. And there is an option in YouTube to where you can go into the editor real quick in the back end. You don't have to re-upload it or anything. And you can actually blur out that one face and then make it active again. This has been on YouTube for quite some time. And maybe a lot of people over there don't know this. But it's something that people need to be aware of. I mean, you could have your video up there for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and it would be fine. You're making money off it. You're making your AdSense. Everything's fine. All of a sudden, somebody's got a complaint that their face is in your video. And that's just the way it is. It's very difficult to do vlogging on YouTube when you start including other people's faces. You actually need their permission to be on video. And some people will go around it and they'll be kind of sneaky and they'll sit back and say, well, do you mind to be on video? Or, they're basically trying to get permission indirectly is what they're doing. And that seems to be working. Because obviously that person says, no, I don't mind. And that means I guess they're not going to come back and report I want my face removed out of that video. But you have to be very careful what you put on video. And if you'll notice, the vloggers themselves are all starting to change. They don't have big crowds in the background anymore. Now they've got one person or two people. They're very careful when they go into markets not to have faces to where they're just hitting the food. I mean, they're doing a lot of editing to make sure other faces aren't showing. So this is all part of it. And if you're going to be a vlogger and you're going to do this like Cheap Charlie's doing, you got to be on your toes. You can't be drinking. You can't be, you got to be aware and be on your game at all times. And you got to be looking behind you, in front of you, what's going on. I mean, everywhere Charlie went, there was people around him. He's in the city. I mean, it doesn't matter even if the camera's just on him and it goes around behind him. I mean, there's other people on camera. It's very difficult to vlog. If you watch Balder there, Broken Bankrupt, a lot of times he's only got one person in his video, I've noticed now. Or very few people. He's trying to control his environment when he's making his videos. But you try to do it with live feed vlogging. Yes, people will tip you and people will give you money. I'll give you that. They will do that. But you got to be careful. You got to be really careful. I mean, there's even been situations to where, Charlie had other people in videos and they got mad, because somebody was trolling or a hater or something. And the guy got all butthurt and the next thing you know, he was swearing and cursing on the video. YouTube is a PG platform. They've stated that everywhere. If you're going to swear on video and you're going to do that, then you have to mark the video adult content only. But as soon as you mark a video adult content only, you no longer get AdSense. So it's a catch-22. So does a vlogger want to get his tips from his fans, and does he want to get AdSense later when people watch it? Or does he mark the content adult content only and simply depend on his fans to pay his way? A lot of different choices there. I did also find, and I did a little research in this, I found a Patreon from Cheap Charlie. Believe it or not, you can search Google for yourself. But it actually stated it was nothing big. It wasn't anything that would look like it was worked on very long. It said $5 to see my unlisted videos or something like that. So it looked like Charlie was going in the direction of the Patreon and he was considering it. And it looks like he was going to charge $5 a month to have access to those other videos. Why he stopped, I don't know. I don't know. So, this is kind of getting like the game Eldo, eh? Like, where's Eldo? Where's Charlie? This guy goes to channels like, people go through shirts. I mean, this is ridiculous. He had a successful channel making a lot of money, 300,000 subs. Then he had this channel building, 6, 7 months he built 6,000 subs? I mean, that's amazing. Most people can't even build 1,000 subs in a year. And I'm not kidding. YouTube is tough. And it takes a long time to get up there, but he did it very quickly. Now, with my last video, of course, I linked to it. I'm sure that helped him out a lot. But he needs to get on the ball with understanding the rules here if something bad did happen to him. I hope he just shut it down and he's rethinking what he's doing. But if he didn't, he could have got the 3-strike wham bam thank you man hit by the haters. Chuck Wow could have got 2 of them right off the bat. That's why you're not seeing nothing from him. And everybody's keeping hush-hush. Oh, yes. Because strikes are not a good thing. And they're enough to make you cower in the corner when you're losing your income. And it's better to lose 3 months' income and then come back and, you can make up any reason, right? Well, I had some bad things happening. I had a death in the family. Whatever. Nobody really knows what's going on behind the scenes, basically, right? But you can pretty well count, I would bet it's got to do with some haters. Now, at the same time, Charlie did apparently fall off the wagon, and apparently he did this once or twice. I think I've seen once. There might have been twice. But one thing I've noticed about human beings in general, when human beings lie, just go watch that TV show, Doctor. And human beings lie. So when you catch somebody or when somebody says, yes, okay, yes, I did it one time. They didn't do it one time. Believe me. They probably had done it 5 or 6 times, but now they're thinking, okay, well, I guess I better say something because I got caught, or maybe somebody's seen me in the bar, or maybe some other vlogger. I need to come clean with this before my people find out. That's just the way it is. And it makes it harder for Cheap Charlie because he's got, his face splattered all over his videos now, so he's made himself somewhat of a celebrity. So if he goes down there and he's in a bar someplace and there's a hater sitting there, it don't take much to pick up your cell phone and hit record and say, look who's drinking here who apparently said he quit, right? All of a sudden everybody goes crazy. So, everybody wants to know where Cheap Charlie is. And I guess we're not going to know until one of his friends or somebody actually catches him and uploads a video. But just making a bunch of hating videos about Cheap Charlie just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. That just seems like a bunch of propaganda. But it could be strikes, or it could be he just shut the channel down himself for the time being while he's trying to rethink what he's doing. But I have also noticed he has a hard time getting away from that area. He seems to be glued to that area. He can't seem to get out of that area whatsoever. Now, I did do also some research on the laws there, and apparently you need a working visa. And that was quite interesting, and it was quite the paperwork. You had to pay for it. And if you're actually working in that area, then you have to be paying for a work visa in that area. Now, from what I could see, some people were saying, well, if your income goes to a U.S. bank account, which I'm sure Cheap Charlie does, then he has to pay taxes in the U.S., and because that's where his 1099 would be sent. And then it would not be considered working over there. But other people debated, well, he's pretty much been there years. He's definitely working there. Definitely not something I would want to go to court and try and fight if I was him. But if he was traveling, and if he was moving from that area to, who knows, Italy, Spain, and different areas like, those other guys are doing, then apparently you don't need work visas. You're actually still working from the USA or whatever country you're from. So, but he's staying there all the time. So he might be borderline on having that work visa. So as far as we know, who knows, maybe it wasn't 3 strikes. Maybe it was that country coming down on him and him wanting a work visa. Maybe some fines were given to him and he had to shut the channel down to say, okay, are you happy now? I shut it down. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not working here. Maybe that was part of it. So those are some options of what could have happened to Cheap Charlie. Where is Waldo? But that is what I've known. That's what I've dug up. So I'll give you a link to the Google page of Google and for YouTube, and you can watch the video. You can read the information yourself and learn this terms of service. I keep telling everybody, learn the terms of service. That's a contract. That is your battle. You follow those rules, you will be fine. You go against those rules, you try to be edgy, you try to go past those rules, they will come down on you. You are fighting artificial intelligence, you are fighting real people. I mean, it is crazy how much you're battling. And that's just the way it is. Anyways, guys, where is Cheap Charlie? Catch you guys later.